All right. Hey, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited that I get to be here with you on a Thursday night. I feel like it's been a while. I know it really hasn't, but this is one of my favorite things to do. So, welcome to the show. This is Stream Like a Boss TV. I'm Tanya Smith, and here's my question for you for tonight. My question is, as I'm talking to you, how long does it take you to write a video script? And I'm talking about, does it take you hours, minutes, or do you just have a blank page and you just go off the top of your head? Because one of the things that you'll know if you followed me for any length of time is that we talk a lot about creating content with intention and purpose. And if we're going to do that, we put a little structure behind it, right? But sometimes that structure can end up taking up way too much time. So we're going to talk about a tool tonight that has become quickly one of my favorite tools. What's so funny is I've had this tool for a while. It's a digital app or platform, and I just dusted it off within the past couple of weeks. I don't know if you're like me and you've purchased these different maybe lifetime deals, or you've had a brand collab or whatever it might be. And you kept saying, I'm going to get to that, I'm going to get to it, but you never get to it. This was one of those. So we're going to talk a little bit about a tool called Subscriber. Before I do that, before we get into it, let me say hello to some folks that are inside the chat. So wherever you're watching from, whether it is YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, you name it, I want to hear from you. Now, one thing I just noticed, and this was a little glitch, something happened with my eCam where I may be disconnected from YouTube comments. So what I think I will do is I'm going to go ahead and try to pull up my YouTube channel as well so that I can see your comments manually. We just may not be able to pull them up for the show tonight, which really stinks because I love to be able to show your comments on screen. I do see my folks over in the Substack space. So Lavon, Charlene, Dr. Mary, welcome. Welcome to the show. Now, if this is your very first time being with us, then I want you to go ahead and type in a hashtag newbie so that we can acknowledge you and welcome you to the spot. If you have been here before, I want you to type in a hashtag OG. That's how we do things here at Stream Like a Boss, so that you know if you're at hashtag OG, you've been here before. You're part of the family now, wherever you are. So thanks again for coming and hanging out and connecting with us. Let me do some due diligence really fast here and make sure that I am checking on my folks on the YouTube channel because I definitely don't see my chat there. I see new. All right. Thank you, Dr. Mary, for showing up and for being here. So I want to welcome you to the show. Let me take a look real quick here at my YouTube folks. It looks like we are live, which is good. And I do see a comment there coming through. So phew. Because sometimes live happens. That's what we say all the time in my world. Let me see. I'm going to put up a comment from Dr. Vibe, the Dr. Vibe show real quick here. Greetings to you as well. You are always so kind and always so thoughtful, thinking of not only me, but my family too. And I so appreciate you, Dr. Vibe. So thank you for that. Here's what we're going to do. This is what we always do. If you don't know, I'm going to break it down for you. But we like to remind you to go ahead and grab a notepad and a pen because sometimes there will be little golden nuggets throughout our conversation that I want you to be able to take advantage of and to remember to apply later on. And when I say later, I don't mean like later forever, but I mean that I want to give you some nuggets and some tips that you can use right away. So grab your notepad and your pen. I'm going to play a super short intro video while we allow you to go ahead and get that notepad, your pen, and your favorite cup of hydration, whatever that might be. I got my water here and ready to go. And when we come back, I'm going to walk you through a live demo of this tool called Subscriber. And I'm going to share with you why I think this is such a, I hate using the word game changer because it's so overused, but it is a brilliant discovery. How about that? We're going to use our words. Okay. All right. I will see you in just a few seconds. So on the other side of the short video, we'll be back and we'll talk about Subscriber and how it can save you time And you know what? Even if subscriber's not right for you, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my script writing process for my live stream specifically. But what you'll find is that this can be used even for shorts and reels and that type of thing. So very excited to share it with you. I'll see you on the other side of this video.
Building a space where the bold come to play. Stream like a boss, this is your day. Stream like a boss, take the crown. Lift your hustle, don't back down. Build your crew, make it thrive. We go live, live, live.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back again. Tanya Smith here with Stream Like a Boss TV, and this is where we help service-centered creators, coaches, consultants. If you're in the service business, then we help you to transform your online and digital and video conversations from crickets into cash. And so I am super excited and thrilled to be able to talk to you about tonight's topic, which is the idea of creating a script. And I'm going to show you a tool that will leverage AI to help me to write a script that is not only quick, but when I say this thing is in my voice, it's using the terminology and the phrases that I use. It's doing all the things and it's doing it super quickly. But I'm also going to give you some alternatives because, hey, who needs another subscription? I get it. I actually got this tool for a lifetime deal. It's called Subscriber. I'll pop up my QR code right here so that you have access to it. But the thing about this particular tool is that it allows you to train it just like you would like ChatGPT or Claude and all of those things. But it doesn't just do that. It pulls in what they call intelligent data from your channel to make it even more personalized and custom. And that's why I've got to show you this thing, because when I finally pulled it out, don't trip, because I know sometimes, hey, you're probably like me. You've done this before too. I know. But sometimes we forget about some of the things that we've purchased. And the reason why this popped up again for me is because I was in the process of doing some audits for a couple of my different clients, right? So helping them to work through the apps, the digital apps and tools and resources they already have in their arsenal to say, hey, let's look at what you already have so you don't go out and buy something else. And in the process of me doing this with them to fully optimize their system, I realized, ooh, it's probably time. It's probably time for me to do this for myself. You know, hey, self-care. So I ended up going through my own current tech stack and looking at the tools that are active, those that are inactive. Some of you have seen my spreadsheet before that I've shared, right? It's a SaaS audit, so software as a service audit. And in the process, I noticed that Subscriber was there, and I thought, okay, so I've been getting emails from this guy, and the emails were talking about these new features and things that they were adding. So I thought it might be time for me to check it out. And when I did, okay, I'm going to pull it up for y'all. Let me first of all pull up the main screen, and then we'll do some recon. I'm going to show you the back end of this thing first. And while I'm doing that, let me make sure that you know, if you have questions or comments, you're more than welcome to pop that into the chat. I already see a couple of comments in here that I want to definitely acknowledge. Mr. Hunt, thank you. Love the intro. And I know you are a musician. You have a musical being yourself. You are a musical being. So thank you for that. That's a lot. Also seeing love the intro from Radiance by Retilia. Thank you. I appreciate it. It does feel a little like, like it's been a while. So I'm glad that you're here. Also, here's a question. So let me answer this because I can answer this naturally from what I just led from. How often am I going through my tech stack? I would say probably not regularly enough. But if I were to coach you in that space, right? Because sometimes we can help other people before we help ourselves. If I were to work with you, we probably look at what's the right cadence for you, because I don't think anything is a magic formula. but at least at a minimum, I would say every 90 days. So once a quarter would probably be ideal to start with. And you may need to do it a little bit more frequently or maybe biannually if you're not someone who makes a lot of purchases. I tend to be an early adopter. So I've made a lot of digital app purchases, which is one of the reasons why it's so easy for me to come on my show and do these reviews for you so that you know exactly what I've been through. And I can share with you both the things that I think are great and the things that I think are not so great about any of these tools. So Subscriber is a tool that I did get for a lifetime deal, and I'm thankful that I did. But I'm going to share with you right now what it looks like now. Let's do a little dive in on their landing page, and I'll share that with you. So basically what they're saying, their promise is that you can write YouTube scripts 10 times faster. Now, I get a little trippy when people start making promises like that. Like, really? Are you serious? Are we for sure? I don't know. And so I ended up deciding that I would test it out, of course, because I never buy into what people are saying right off the bat. Their job is to market to you and to sell you on the thing. But I was intrigued, I'll admit, by the promise because I do take time. Remember, I mentioned the whole idea of intention and purpose. So I do take time to sit down and write out the scripts for the videos I'm going to deliver to you. This live stream is scripted to a point, but I also in my scripts like to make sure that there's a lot of me, that it's all me, first of all, but there's some room for flexibility in case an idea pops up or someone has a question, just like Dr. Vibe had a question. That wasn't part of the script, but I know that there are certain things I want to make sure that I'm able to deliver to you because this is all about giving value. So I want to deliver this content in the certain allotted amount of time that we have together, right? So I see some folks that are joining us over in Substack, and I want to say hello. Dr. Amolia, not doctor, but Amolia. Wonderful to see you. So hi back. Okay. 10 times faster is what they're saying. So just chat with the script bot is what it says about your video idea, and it turns that into a viral YouTube script that actually sounds like you. I'm going to say that I will give it a rating towards the end of our time together, but you already can see that I'm a little excited about what I said I was going to show you, so I'll show you the back end in a minute. So on their landing page, they've got just some information about the process. The vibe scripting is what they're calling it. Researching and validating your next big hit. It does have a lot of these tools. We're not going to focus on this particular tool called the YouTube Intelligence tool. I might hit it high level, but what I want to talk about really is the chat and script side by side. So writing your actual script, because this to me is the biggest time saver. Because I'm also going to show you how I manually wrote my script, and then I'm going to show you that I created a custom GPT with templates that I use as well, which took a lot of time for me to create. It's just I love creating GPTs, and now I'm learning how to create gems and all of those things. So love designing that stuff, but it's sometimes nice to have a shortcut, like a tool that's built specifically for the thing that you have in mind, that all you got to do is plug and play, and it has done all the research and analysis and all of those things. That's where I think Subscriber is a differentiator. So high quality research in seconds. If any of you have used vidIQ or you use TubeBuddy, but particularly vidIQ, I think, because in my mind, vidIQ is better at doing a lot more things nowadays. Although they used to run neck and neck with TubeBuddy, vidIQ has surpassed that. So a lot of the things that you could find yourself doing perhaps in vidIQ, you can actually do in this space as well. But to me, each of them does different things better. So I feel like this particular tool actually writes a script way better than what I'm able to achieve in vidIQ right now. And I'll show you why. So we're going through this page. Let's look at the pricing model and see what they got going on over here. Looks like that's not clickable for some reason. This is probably one of those vibe coded sites. So let's click right there. Okay, pricing, there we go, boom. So they've got annual and they have monthly pricing. So the yearly pricing, it looks like right now for 2 channels, and many of you will be, may have 1 channel, right? But this one would be the minimum. So $38 a month if you are doing the annual, which is at $459 a year. That is the creator plan, and it looks like this has a certain set number of credits per month, so 60 credits per month, 2 team members, 2 channels, and then these features here. So plan your content with an AI agent trained on YouTube strategy, which again, that's the differentiator here. Quickly search through millions of viral channels and videos for inspiration and remix viral content in minutes. Now, some of this stuff, again, can be done in like a vidIQ. So if you're familiar at all with vidIQ, you can do some of this, but I'm going to show you the thing that I think is uniquely different and better in this tool. Okay, so the pricing, you can see that here, and then they have larger plans. It doesn't look like they have a smaller plan that's available. I'll find out if there could be a deal code. I did not check with the founder ahead of time, so I need to do that. And if so, I'll find it. If you're interested at all, I'm going to put my QR code right there with my affiliate link that will lead you here. But feel free to reach out to me in the next 48 hours or so. And if I can get a code, then I will try to get that for us. Okay, so the monthly is $49 a month, and that's probably about average for these type of tools right now, if you find that this is something that is really worth your time and energy. But again, I'm not here just to sell you on their tool. So let me get that clear, okay? Because many of you know what I always say when it comes to digital apps. I don't want you going out there and subscribing to another thing if you have something that does this for you and does it well. So please don't feel like you're being sold to. What I'm doing is I'm sharing with you another option that I think is pretty cool, and it will save time. And because some of you got the lifetime deal on my recommendation way back when it was available, you too may be wanting to dust the thing off and see what it does. But the other thing I'm going to share, as I promised, is I'll share with you my manual way of doing script writing as well, so that you can have some ideas whether you decide to invest in a product like this or not. Okay, so that's where I am with this. Okay, let's go back in here and let's take a look at what we've got going on. I'm checking for your comments and your questions. So if you do have any, feel free to pop those into the chat wherever you are, Substack, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and I will get to you as quickly as I possibly can on your question. Try to keep it related, if at all possible, to tonight's topic. Okay, here we go. So let's do some more screen sharing. And what I'm going to do next is I will pull up the actual back end of this tool now that we've taken a look at the landing page and the pricing and that type of thing. So here's what's really cool. This is the back end of Subscriber. I have it on dark mode. I think there's also a daylight mode if you want to use that. But personally, on my maturing eyes, I often like dark mode a little bit better nowadays. What you have the capability of being able to do is to add new channels here. So when you first sign up, and what I'll do is I'll blow this up a little bit because I know some of you too may have maturing eyes like I do. So let's do that. What you'll notice is that when you get ready to connect your channel, you can connect it by simply importing an existing channel that you have on YouTube. So what you'll do is basically indicate your profile here. So I just put @TanyaSmith and I connected the channel and we were good to go. We were on a roll. You can start fresh, meaning that you can plan before you ever hit record. So for those of you who are like, I just want to create a channel, I don't have one yet, this could be an excellent tool for you to start. Like just do maybe a 3-month plan. Just map out that I'm going to do 3 months, which will cost you about $150. 3 months, and that way that will give you your ideas that you can put together for your scripts. You can go ahead and have those ready to go, and then you can cancel your subscription, right? Because a lot of what you're about to see will possibly give you a reason for you to want to invest in this thing. So starting fresh, if you've never created a channel and you're at the beginning stages, this could be worth your while as well. So creating a custom channel. Another reason why this might be good on the starting fresh is, let's say you have a channel, but you're thinking, I need to revisit how I've been putting content out here because I don't really like the direction it was going. And now I've decided I wanted to go into another direction. Look, I've done that. I've done that a few times, which was why took so long for me to finally get accepted into the YouTube partner program, y'all, because I was having an identity crisis at different points in my YouTube space. It's true. I'm just being honest. So if you too are struggling with, hey, I don't really love the content I've put out there so far, I kind of want to start fresh. This is also another way for you to plan out before you start to record or deliver streams. If you're doing lives, this will give you strategy before you begin making that improvement. And then finally, there's a third option for remixing a channel. So if you are someone, and I'm going to tell y'all, this is the secret to success for many, many creators. I heard it over and over and over again at this. I've been to several events over the past several months, right? I'm really evented out. But I do so love connecting with the people and learning and all of those things. But at each and every one of those events, I can't tell you how many times I heard this piece of advice I'm going to give you right now. Success leaves markers. So if you are spotting success in a similar niche to yours, somebody else has a channel that's doing really well, what you can do is to leverage what is working for them and create your own version of that. I'm not telling you to steal. We don't want that. There's enough of that going on. Trust me, people are flat out copying and pasting whole posts and putting their own name on stuff that is not theirs. People are using AI and imagining and pretending that that content is really theirs and not inserting themselves into it. So I'm not saying to do that. What I'm saying is to look for the markers of success. What I'm saying is to look at opportunities to leverage what's working and marry that to your own personal brand. Does that make sense? If any of you has a favorite channel, put the channel into the chat. I'm curious. If you've got a favorite channel that you just love to watch, you can name the person if you want to, or you can name the channel, YouTube or somewhere else. It's up to you. But name that person, that channel, put that in the chat. I'm curious if you've got some faves out there. Okay, so back to our screen share. Let's talk a little bit about what else we got here. So if you're doing the remix of the channel thing, what you're going to do basically is to identify whatever that channel is, and you're going to give yourself a unique channel name, and then you're going to indicate in here, this is how I want to make it different. Like, so-and-so does this one thing over here, but here's where I'm really gifted and how I want to make this uniquely mine, okay? And then you create the remix, and it starts to put together information and data on that channel for you. So yeah, I love it. Sarah Mary Parker, thank you. Let me put this in here. Here's a channel, Fallow Chefs is a channel that you love. Got it. Love it, love it. So shout out to Fallow Chefs in the house. Sarah Mary Parker is a fan. Just want you to know that if you're watching. Okay. So I'm going to show you my actual channel as I have it in here today. I actually have a couple of channels, but there's only one that I really focus on these days because my strategy is to focus on one thing, get that up and running, understand the formula, break down the system as I see it, and then use that to apply to other spaces. That's what I prefer to do these days. Instead of trying to run haphazardly and doing 5 different things at once, I've gotten to the point to where I'm like, let's be laser focused on making this thing a success, and then we can use that formula in other ways. So yes. And David has subscriber, just like I did, bruh, has subscriber and has not used it. Okay, so this is your wake up call. Okay. And you're welcome. No worries at all, Dr. Mary. You can definitely come back and catch the replay if you're interested in this topic. I appreciate you. Okay, so here we go. Here's the channel, right? And so this is what I want to show you. When you go into the channel, you then get access to a number of different things. And so I'm going to break some of this down for you because the thing I want to focus primarily on is the script writing feature. Okay, the idea of writing your video script quickly. And we'll walk through writing a script together. We'll do that in just a few minutes, okay? I'm going to show you my process ahead of time before I even jump into Subscriber. But this is what I've started doing since I realized the power of this thing. Okay, so when you first set up your channel, and you can't see this necessarily, but when you first set up your channel, what's going to happen is it's going to take you to a place where you're able to create your persona, okay? I'm going to see, I might be able to grab it. Okay, I can. So these links up here, this is really cool. This is where it starts, okay? And so the founder shared this in a tutorial because initially I was that person. I tend to jump the gun. If you're a person, by the way, who... Let me do this real quick because this is funny. If you are the person who, when you get that new thing that needs to be put together, you just get the box, you open the box, and you start building. You're not looking at the kit tutorial or the guide. You didn't even open that. You just start looking, open up all the packages, putting everything out on the floor and start building the thing. That's me. If that's you, put a hand raise emoji in the chat. I'm curious, do I have other people who are like me in here? But I did step back and I listened to what the founder said. And he said, hey, before you start doing that, before you begin to build, go ahead and open the box, but pull the guide out. And what he suggested is this, that you actually go in and train the tool on your brand. So that's what I'm going to show you now. And I see Sarah Mary. Thank you. I have a fellow. I appreciate you. Thank you. What's up, Educated Natural? I see you there. Okay, so this creates a persona. Okay. And so it initially, this is what's really cool. Initially, when it pulled my channel in, it just automatically created what it thought was my brand based on the info that's in my YouTube. But then I had the ability to go in here and make updates. So it made some assumptions, but I went in here and took information that I've already created in my brand guide with the use or help of ChatGPT and Claude, and I made some edits to ensure that it is super accurate, okay? But when you look in here, it has the demographics, psychographics, online behaviors. These are all the things that I've always taught. For those of you who are back in my branding and marketing certification days, which, look, I've been coaching for 20 years, y'all. So for those of you who were a client of mine back in those times, we focused on all of these things when creating a persona, okay? They call it a client avatar, a brand persona, whatever you want to name it. But it basically is your target audience member who's ideally the perfect client for you, right? If you're typing this into ChatGPT, you can say, hey, I want to know my ICA, my ideal client avatar. It knows what ICA is, okay? And what it will do is break things down usually along these lines. So the demographics, the psychographics, the offline behavior, the online behavior. But then right here, so I reviewed through this and I was like, that's pretty accurate. It's pulling from my channel and my existing videos. Great. It's giving all the things that I'm about: integrity, community, being supportive, open to learning, all these things is giving exactly what I like to represent in my channel. But here's where I did some tweaking. I said, okay, you've given me a list of key questions that most people on my videos want to ask. Here's what the things that they want to learn about and want to know. I'm going to add to that list. And so it gave me probably about 30 or so questions. And then I added more to it that I thought would be not only appropriate, but things that I want to make sure we cover, things that I know my clients have asked me in personal and private meetings that I think might benefit my larger target audience through my YouTube channel. So I added to this, and it gives you the ability to be able to do this when you edit your avatar right here. You can go in here and make any adjustments that you need to. So I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to make any edits. I like where it is right now. Okay. So audience, that's where you start first. Then you can go into research, which I haven't done this one yet, but I'm going to do some additional research and add some items in here for scripts that I want to use, okay? So this might be, for instance, if you've written a book, if there are other PDF guides, if there are things that you want to make sure you're incorporating certain message points, phrases, words, intelligence, right, around the things that you talk about, you'll be able to research that here inside of the tool using this Intel feature, which we're not going to cover tonight. And you'll be able to star that and include it so that it's always here as it's referencing how to create a script for you. But then it has voice. And so voice, again, is another place where it's going to create a default for you based on your channel now. But you have the opportunity to then further generate your own distinct voice. So I created one. It gave me a default, but I went in and further edited my Stream Boss version of the voice so that it uses my terminology. It speaks like me. It does all the things like me. It thinks like me as it's creating this transcript, or not transcript, but the script, and all of those things. And I'll show you where this comes into play for your channel voice in just a second. The last thing I'm going to show you on this part is templates. So I love this. This is something I'm really getting excited about because I love that they already have created a number of different types of templates that are available for you as it relates to the types of videos that you're going to create. So David, again, oh, you don't have subscriber. Dang. Okay. I'm sad that you didn't grab this ahead of time, but who knows? You might end up finding that you need it. It has a base template with just natural language patterns that are flexible, as they say. I haven't used this yet. I don't necessarily love the base template, but what I'm finding is based on the things that I'm asking for anyway, it's usually selecting one of these other types of templates. So the two that I think I probably use the most, as you can probably guess, even from tonight, is the education template. And then another one is an explainer template. But it has all of these different templates that are using certain frameworks that are ideal for YouTube scripts. So it already gives you that. And what you can do is you can say, you know what, I like your education template, but I kind of want to clone that and I want to call it my educational template. So I'm just going to call my SB Stream Boss educational template. And now I can go in here and make some adjustments to what they've done, which is what I'm going to be doing because I'm going to show you my actual template that I've been using. But I can make some adjustments in here and really get it to be precise as it relates to the type of scripts that I want written. Okay. So I will be doing that later, but I wanted you to see that that's there. And that's the thing that I'm loving about this, which you can probably already tell. Remember I mentioned to you that there's a differentiator. So whereas vidIQ has the research capabilities for you to be able to go and look at SEO for your titles and give you ideas for descriptions and even do research on other people's channels and videos, this, to me, the power and the difference is the script writing itself. It's the way in which it is leveraging YouTube frameworks to help me to create a script that still sounds like me. So like they were saying on the landing page, the sales page talked about 10 times faster and in your voice. That's the thing that I think is the gift in using this tool. Okay, let's write a script together. Let's see what this looks like, okay? So I'm going to show you my back end first. And again, if you do have questions as we go, don't hesitate to ask. The only channel that I cannot see clearly, I cannot see LinkedIn comments right now because I do not have that pulled up. So if you're leaving a comment on LinkedIn, I will come back and make sure that I scan once I leave here tonight. And if there's something I need to get back to you on, I promise I will DM you or just respond in the comments. So leave me a comment or a question if you have one. And we're going to go ahead and do a demo right now. I'm going to show you how this can work. Okay. So I tend to write using seasons. Okay. So if you've seen some of my other work and we've talked about planning out your videos and all of that, you know that I use a content library that's based on content pillars. We're not going to go deep on that right now, but so each quarter, at least, I'm going to have written out a series of different video topics that I want to talk about based on a particular theme or things that I think are relevant in the time. Because sometimes I can write about evergreen stuff, but there's other times where I'm like, I'm in the moment and the trends are telling me that I need to write or talk about this particular topic right now. So what you'll see is that I have a live stream video planned for my Q4, and I've got specific things that I want to talk about this quarter that are going to be part of my season 8 and my season 9. Okay. And so because I've already drafted that, I already know what I want to talk about, I can move a little bit faster, but I'm going to also show you that there's a way for you to do this, even if you haven't done the type of work that I've done, to get to a place where you know you have an idea of what you're going to be talking about. So first of all, you can use in their chat, when you do new chat, this is based on your channel, okay? You can say, help me plan my next video. Now, if you need to change channels because you have multiple channels, you'll go up here and select whatever the channel is that you're working on at the moment. Okay. What story are you telling today is what it's asking. And so down here, it gives us the ability to be able to leverage pre-developed options, okay, or prompts, or I can simply start saying, hey, what I want to talk about this next video is X. And that's usually what I'm going to do because I already know what my ideas are and what the topics are that I want to cover. But let's say I didn't. I can say plan my next video. So explore a new video about, and if I don't know what topic I can say, hey, give me at least 10 ideas based on my channel, the most successful videos in my channel. Give me 10 ideas that I can choose from for my next video, and it will do that too. That is something that vidIQ can also do, by the way. So I'm going to just say, I'm going to choose my offer aligned repurposing system. This is what I want to do for the next one. And this is the one we're going to work with tonight. So I'm going to say, explore a new video about offer aligned repurposing system. And then I give it the definition of what I'm talking about. And I'm going to click enter. Now, also, there's a prompt library, so we could take a look at that, but for sake of time, we'll just focus on what we're doing right now, okay? So here I go. I'm popping that in, and yes, that's an excellent question, so I'm going to come back to that, David. I covered the pricing model a little bit earlier, so you may not have been on, but I will go back to it before we end, so I'll make sure I do that. Okay, so here's what's cool about me putting in that particular topic. It's like, hey, that's a banger idea. Whatever. That's a great idea. How about that? This fits directly into what your audience of heart-centered entrepreneurs needs, a system to convert video into clients, not just random content. Now, mind you, it's pulling from what I've already told it I talk about. It knows my channel. All of those things are evident because we just went through the process, right, of training it. But if you're brand new, what you're probably going to do instead, if you don't have any ideas yet, is you're going to talk back and forth and have conversation with the chat, okay? Just like you would do in ChatGPT, Claude, etc., so that you can get to a place where you feel comfortable about the topics that it's giving you. But what it's doing is it's telling me what's already working for me that's along the lines of the topic that I've chosen. You can see it's pulling some of my YouTube thumbnails and content here. And then it's going to ask me about video angles. To package this idea into a viral video, we need to choose a killer angle. We can transfer the structure from one of your strongest titles, which this is wrong because I haven't written anything about Ireland. So, glitch we just found, huh? Why thumbnail advice is broken. And then it says, here are 3 angles using the YX is Y format to maximize the click-through rate. Okay, so your repurposing workflow is broken. Good idea. We can start with that title. Or the 3-step AI repurposing system. So it's giving me ideas for titles and the core problem solved. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan through this, and I'll probably debate a little bit back and forth with it and say, hey, I just want to make sure that you know this is what I want to write about, okay? Then it says, hey, I can start drafting the script with the 3rd angle, stop repurposing content like a course creator. I'll create this as a script using the educational template because this is all about teaching a new effective system. See, so it's picking one of those templates for me based on what I said I wanted to talk about. How cool is that? So are you ready to create the script? I'm going to just say, yeah, let's go. And let's see what it pops up with. So that's crazy talk, y'all. What it's doing is pulling, because I did tell it I'm very informal. Here's some of the vernacular I use. So it knows it's writing like the Southerner I am. It's talking to me like I would talk to somebody else. So I think that's funny in there. Okay. It's giving me this outline. So it's proposing a structure, and it also has something called a canvas. So when I open the canvas, I can see this a little bit bigger and in a little bit more of an organized fashion, okay? So it's breaking everything up. It's like hook plus opening. So it's following the educational template, the problem, the solution, and the conclusion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to review this. In real life, I would take a longer amount of time to really kind of scan through this and make sure, yeah, I think these are some of the points that I would want to work through, right? Furthermore, what it can also do is it could say, hey, I want to ask you a few more questions about this plan. And I've seen it do that with one of my previous scripts. As a matter of fact, I just noticed something here too. So right here in the middle, if you can see that, it's choosing the default, but I'm going to be changing the default to my new voice that I just created, which is Stream Boss. So I'm going to have it to regenerate the outline, and also ask any questions you might have for me, just in case, because there may be something else that it wants to know. There we go, and it did ask. So it's regenerating the outline using the proper voice right now, and let's see what else it's going to do. And it gives me different results depending on the particular script that I'm planning on writing. I'm noticing that already because a couple of other times it said, hey, do you want me to go ahead and generate some more ideas for a really strong and powerful hook? And I love that it gave me that. Now, this is taking a few minutes longer than I anticipated. So while it's doing that, notice that it has given us these hooks right here, a pain. Most coaches repurpose content like course creators and wonder why they're not getting clients. But I want to talk about the difference between repurposing for sales versus education and give you some specific workflows. So it's drafted an outline, and I can edit this and fix it up the way that I want to. I'm not going to wait for this to happen right here. We're going to keep it moving. So over here, it's going to begin to generate the script. Once you're satisfied with what the outline has, you've added some additional thoughts to it. And here we go, boom. And it is, by the way, using credits. So remember when I showed you the pricing plan, it had a certain number of credits per month. So that's what it's doing, is it's using credits. And once you've used your credits up for the month, then you'll have to wait until the next month. Or I think there's a way for you to purchase additional credits if you use them up. Okay. So what I am doing is I am waiting for it to generate this full script, but it's giving me the script again, based on what I've shared with it about my brand and in my voice and tone. Me too, Sophia. It is so cool. So look what it's doing. Look, if you're repurposing content exactly like those big course creators told you to, but you're not getting clients, blah, 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 right? So that's the opening. Hey, y'all. I say y'all. Hey, y'all, I'm Tanya, and I help heart-centered entrepreneurs build systems that actually turn viewers into clients. I probably changed that from transform from crickets to cash because that's my thing, right? But in my new template that I'm going to customize, I'm going to add some of those instructions so it always comes back with my specific language for the intro and the outro. I want it to be built in. But what you can see already is just the power of how quickly it gave us what looks to me to be a really robust script. It gave us that outline. I don't know why this is taking so long. It might be because I have 1,000 windows open and I'm streaming. But the other thing I want you to notice before we move off of this is if I wanted to change up the LLM, so the large language model I'm using, it defaults to Claude 4, which pretty much is sufficient to me. I like Claude 4 Sonnet, but you could change this to be GPT-4, or you could use DeepSeek. So it gives you options. GPT-5 is even in here. It gives you options depending on the model that you want to use, which could give you different results, okay? It also allows you, even though it has by default chosen the education template, I can go in here and say, no, I'd rather use a different template. I'm going to make this into a short. And so now it's going to give me a shorts version of the educational template. How cool is that? And I can say, hey, go ahead and use this one instead, and it will change the way that it's structured so that it will give me a short instead of a full-blown video that's like 10 minutes or longer. Either way, this is game changer. Again, I hate using that phrase, but I feel like this truly is, because this is saving me a ton of time, y'all. Previously, before I was using AI tools for this, I'll tell you that a lot of it, and it still comes from here, right? I'm just marrying my own knowledge and experience with this tool so I can move faster. It's not replacing me, but I can move faster, because before I would literally have to do a ton of research and writing ahead of time, which can be discouraging. If you're somebody who is like, hey, I want to do video, but I just don't have time to put this thing together. Tanya keeps talking about it being intentional and on purpose, and that it should be offer-based and reverse engineering from the offers I'm putting out there, but yet I don't have time. If you're saying that, this is the type of tool that can help you to move much quicker. So I'm going to share with you, I'm going to show you some of my previous, I don't know if I'm signed in right now, so I have to see. I got to go through authentication and all of that. So I'm not going to pull my workflowy, which is where my previous live stream scripts were, but I'm going to pull up a document that may be similar. Let's see if we can do that. Okay. All right, I'll pull this up. The one that I actually use for real is something I would have to sign in for. I'm not going to take all the time to do that, but let's just pretend, right? What I typically would do is I would be going through and I would be filling this in manually. I do a lot of manual work to make sure that it has different touch points. So before AI, I was doing that to ensure I had a solid structure and outline that I could use. Okay. Then when AI became more popular and accessible, what I was using is my Chat GPT. So in my GPT, I'm going to show you another tool, right, that does allow me, because I still do create these and I do love them, but I'm going to show you what I'm missing just by using Chat GPT alone. I'll show you real fast here. So let's say I wanted to do a new project. And I have Live Video Specialist GPT, which is one of the ones that I offer to my members in Stream Bosses Academy, right? And so what we do here is we get started, and I'd say, help me write a script about content repurposing. Let's say video repurposing, okay? And so what this is going to do is it's going to help me to write this script, right? But it's not, and it's using the things that I've trained it to do. It's using my template, sure. But what it's not doing is it's not pulling directly from my YouTube channel. Now, if you use Agent and you do all these special prompts, or you train your GPT with a really complex back end, yeah, sure, you could do that. You could do it. But what I'm liking and enjoying and appreciating is that all of the things that I need for my script and my channel, and even some of the research that I want to do on different other channels, so I can see outlier videos that I can leverage and merge with my own branding and my own ideas to create something else that might be successful. I'm able to see that all in this single place without having to build out a complex agent or a GPT. So I think if I had to give you a differentiator, that's where I see this tool being a really nice way to save a ton of time and thinking. Like, I don't want to have to think that hard right now. I'm moving fast. So this, look, it even gives you trending niches. All of this stuff is right in here inside of the YouTube Intel space. The chat itself, you can, again, talk about, look, let's do browse prompt library. Here's a few things in the prompt library. Gap analysis, like if you looked at somebody else's channel and they're talking about a similar topic, what this here does, which I've tried it out and I love it, is it will say, okay, you got this person over here, let's just call him Jane. Jane has done videos that are in a similar niche to yours, but what's missing from Jane's videos are X, Y, and Z. You should do videos on those things. That helps you to show your unique differentiation between Jane's and your channel. What? I know, right? So content planning templates, there's a content calendar. You can brainstorm those 20 video topics if you're just starting out. All of this is in here. And I didn't have to create another custom GPT to do it. It's just built in. So for me, this has been an excellent tool. I'm so glad I dusted it off and figured out that it was here, because now I'm going to use it to the fullest. And it's saving a ton of time. So I'm going to check and see if we've got questions. I know we have some comments in here. Yes, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm checking you folks out over on Substack. Let me take a look inside here in my comments for YouTube. Let's see what we got. Hey, back. Not a problem. David. Yep, it's all good. Sarah Mary Parker was talking about the discipline. I know, right? Because I just open the box and I start building, and I forget to go back and look at the guide and see if I missed something. I'll figure that out later. Joshua Lee, wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for hanging out from LinkedIn. Okay, is there a cost for subscriber? Yes, there is a cost, much like many of these tools. For those of you who are paying for vidIQ, if you're already doing that, what I would do is one of two things. One, and I'll pop my QR code up in just a minute again, I'll put it now. I'll put it up here while we're talking about it, okay? One, I would consider watching for let me pop it back up there, watching for potentially some Black Friday deals. You never know. A lot of these platforms will have that. So if you're going to try it out, do like the monthly version, because that's the thing I'm suggesting to people anyway. If there's an AI-based tool these days, I hesitate to do an annual. I'm almost always suggesting that you do a monthly, because that stuff is moving so quickly, right? And again, you may not need it for the long haul. Maybe you just need it to generate enough channel enough of a content calendar for you, and then you can let it go and pick it back up if you need to later on. But I think that it is $49. We'll go back and look at it again in a second. I'm going to pull the page back up. But it's $49 a month is the basic plan. And the credits are limited, or the credits are assigned according to the level that you choose, right? So there's a monthly and an annual fee, and I'll show you those again in a second. So yes, there is a cost. David, I think I answered your question too. Which one is it based on? So you could choose which model you want to use inside of the app, which I think is amazing because a lot of us have a specific preference. For me, I really like the way that Claude Sonnet 4 writes certain copy, especially because it makes it a lot more human feeling to me. So that has been a success in my mind, but it has ChatGPT 5 and 4 if you want to try one of those. Sophia's saying, I love this software. Yes. Okay. So confirming. So see, Sophia is an OG, a user then of the tool as well, and says, yes, you can purchase credits. Good. Okay. Good to confirm. Subscriber does have a lot of features, Dr. Vibe. Let's see. Is there a big learning curve? I will tell you, I literally just dusted it off because remember I said, I've had the lifetime deal for a minute. So I wasn't playing with it like I probably should have been. But even so, and I do tend to learn things quickly. So I'll give you that. Yes. But I think that it's intuitive enough that if you simply go through the tutorial that the founder created, it's like a 30 or 40-minute tutorial. And as you are watching the tutorial a couple of times on YouTube, you're going in and setting up the back end. I think you would have no problem leveraging this tool, Dr. Vibe. None at all. You'd pick it up right away. So do I think it's worth a try? And would I give this one a rating of a 3 or 4? I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. And the only reason why I'm going to say 4 is because I do think that if you already have vidIQ, you can get a lot of the research aspects of it in a vidIQ. I also think that vidIQ is actually superior when it comes to ranking SEO for titles. It's better there than it is inside of this tool, because what I found myself doing is I will ask it to give me the idea for the script, and it gives me ideas for hooks and titles and all of the things. But when I go and I double check those titles, so far with the ones that I've explored, the titles are not firmly grounded with SEO capability. So I'm taking those titles, I'm taking the one that I think would resonate the most, and I'm going and I'm doing some double checking in a tool like vidIQ or somewhere else, right? Whatever tools you have. So that's where I think I would give it a 4 instead of a 5-star. But otherwise, the fact that it is it's customizing the scripts and speeding up the entire process by giving me that outline and giving me the full script ahead of time, that's all I really want. Give me scripts all day long based on what it is I want to talk about, and you are researching and pulling in information and listening to me when I say I want to change things up, or, hey, no, we need to make it different right here. Love that. Speeding up the process of content creation, that's my jam. Let's do this. So that's the number one reason why I think this is a really excellent tool. And if it's something that you're interested in checking out, I've got my QR code over here on the bottom right now. So pointing right there, if you're interested in taking a peek, I will watch for discount codes. I'm going to ask for one. And I'm also going to tell you, if you're not quite ready yet, just keep paying attention around Black Friday. Anything that I'm finding out there in the world that might be good for us who create videos, I will probably be doing some Amazon videos, some Amazon lives for gear, and more than likely I'll be doing some videos as well to talk about different tools and software that I'm finding. So watch for that, because there probably will be some type of specials, and hopefully he'll have a Black Friday one. And if so, That'll help us, right? The other thing that I would suggest is we're going to have in the very near future what we call her table AI circles. So it's a whole new program that I'm putting on. It's mini accelerators that are going to be taking place. And I'll say more about that later because I don't want to hold you since we're at the top of our hour. But I'll say more about that later. If you're not on my list, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. Get subscribed to be on our list at streamlikeaboss.tv/subscribe so you never miss a thing. We're doing some renovations, if you will, to the website, to the email, and to all of our spaces as I'm expanding some ideas. And I'm really, really wanting to focus in on women over 40. But even if you don't fall in that space, if you're getting a little something out of what we talk about here on Thursdays, I want you to definitely come back. Share a fire emoji if you got at least one idea tonight from something that we talked about. Let's see, I'm checking to make sure we've got any other questions. Yeah, okay, I see a note, and I'm going to put this up here because this could be for someone else. Speak 20 found Ventress. I do not know Ventress, so I cannot vouch for that. But found Ventress on Rocket Hub. The only thing I would suggest in regards to that is that some of the SaaS providers out there, and I've had this experience with Rocket Hub myself, don't always stand behind their products. So if you're buying a lifetime deal in these times, be very skeptical, pay attention to the ratings, look at the star ratings, look at the comments, read them through thoroughly, go and do your research, even beyond and outside of that LTD or lifetime deal platform so that you know what you're getting into. I don't know anything about Venture, so I can't speak to that one, but I can speak to Subscriber, and so far I am having a ball with it. Let's see. Thanks again for another informative stream. You're welcome, Dr. Vibe. Thank you for the hearts and for the fire emojis, y'all. I am super excited, as always, that I get a chance to be here with you and to share something else. Next time we meet, we're going to be talking about a particular topic that I actually have scripted out already, thanks to Subscriber. And the topic is going to be on the best live stream show formats. I'm going to talk a little bit about if you're doing, and not just live streams, if you're doing any type of live video content, whether it's for a podcast or something else, a show or series, what I want to talk about is what are the formats, and I think I have 4, maybe 5 that I want to talk to you about, okay? So we're going to get into that. I do see another really quick question I want to answer, so let me pop that up before we go. David Hunt, how does Notebook LM compare to the research by Subscriber? Have you used Notebook? Absolutely, and we probably need to do a show on Notebook LM because they're doing the most. Like, there's a lot going on with Notebook LM, and I am excited about that too. And if you already have Google Workspace, that could be an option for you, at least to leverage an internal resource that you're already paying for, but it's not going to gift you what you just saw me go through in Subscriber. It doesn't have all of that built in, right? From a research standpoint, you can still use that. And what I'm doing is I'm marrying the research that I do outside of Subscriber with Subscriber, but I love that they can pull YouTube specific information from other channels, from my own channel. That's the part I'm really digging, right? You can't always do that with some of these other tools. You end up hodgepodging and piecemealing stuff. And I just don't have time for that right now. In my current go mode, I need to flip a switch and have the info and move on to the next thing. And so tools like this allow me to do that. Okay. That's all we got for you for tonight, folks. Thank you again for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Be sure, as always, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Make sure that you do that because we love to see it, and share it with a friend. If there's a friend or 2 or 3 that can learn from what we talked about tonight, then please feel free to share this along with them. Whether you are here live catching the replay or listening on Spotify or your favorite audio podcast, you're what makes this community special. I will see you next time in the stream. Thanks for watching and for listening.